Turning now to a massive misstep by the Trump administration. The U.S. government admitting in a court filing yesterday that federal agents accidentally deported a man who was in the U.S. legally, landing him in El Salvador's notorious mega jail. The administration is calling it a, quote, administrative error, and Justice Department lawyers say they don't have jurisdiction to get the Salvadorian government to release him and return him to the United States. Joining me now, NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley. Julia, what more do we know about this individual and how he ended up getting deported to El Salvador?
Well, we understand that he's a father. When he was arrested in Maryland just a few weeks ago, his 5-year-old son, who his lawyer says has autism, was in the back seat of the car. Now, this is someone who crossed in 2019 and was told by a judge that he had an order that was a withholding of removal, meaning that he could not be deported. It's not really a way someone can live for a long time in the United States. It doesn't really give them legal status, but it does keep them from being deported until other parts of their case can be worked out. There was also a time he was accused of having a connection to Tren de Aragua, but police were not able to hold him because there was no evidence that connected him firmly to the gang, and so he was later released. That's why the Trump administration now is saying they've made an administrative error, because this was someone who was actually barred from being deported from the United States. The other people who have been deported, or at least what we know of, we don't know all the details, were deported maybe without final orders of removal. That's why Trump invoked those wartime powers, but they didn't have explicit orders that they not be removed, Ryan. And that's why this is so critical. It's bringing up a lot of questions about the process the Trump administration went through in order to find and pick the people who they put on those first planes to that prison in El Salvador.
So you say the administration has admitted that this is an error. It seems, though, that this needs to be a problem that should be fixed now. Do they have any plans or means to return him back to the United States?
That's right. Yes, Caroline Leavitt did say from the White House podium today that it was an error, but that she doubled down that he was indeed tied to the Tren de Aragua Venezuelan gang. And no, right now the administration is saying that this is outside of their power and outside the power of federal courts to be able to have any kind of power over this man to be able to bring him back to the United States. They're even saying that habeas petitions, which is how you file in court that you are being wrongfully detained, would be basically meaningless in U.S. courts because this man is in the hands of El Salvador. But we should point out, Ryan, there may be some gray area there, because the entire reason why El Salvador is holding any of these men is because of an agreement with the United States.
So we also have some news on the temporary protected status program for Haitian and Venezuelan migrants in the United States. What's the latest on that?
That's right. That status was set to expire just next week, which meant that over 350,000 people would lose their right to live and work legally in the United States, and it would tee them up and make them eligible for deportation. Of course, you know, Venezuelans and Haitians have long been in the crosshairs of the Trump administration's deportation plans, especially as we talk about Venezuelans who Trump says many of them are tied to this Tren de Aragua gang. Now, taking away this status would not only make them eligible for deportation, but for many cities, they saw it as a lifeline to be able to allow the mass number of Venezuelans who entered the United States in the last administration to be able to work. It's something Democratic mayors in cities like New York asked the White House for under the Biden administration. But now a judge has said that the Trump administration cannot take away that status so quickly. It wasn't set to expire until October 2026. And he said that doing so would have irreparable harm on not only those individuals, but also on the U.S. economy.
All right, Julia Ainsley, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.